Welcome everyone to the brand new YouTube channel that I am launching called TMoLR Texas. And on this particular channel, we're going to look at Texas history. And that's because history is something that has just been I've been very passionate about. It's something that was awakened probably in 6th grade when I first moved to Brazoria. I believe that was 6th grade. Yeah, it was the beginning of my 6th grade year. That just happened to coincide with the sesquicentennial of Texas. And I remember going to the sesquicentennial parade that we had in downtown Brazoria and just seeing and learning about all the amazing things that make up Texas. The size, the geography, and of course the people that make up Texas. So from about 6th grade on, history, especially Texas history, has always had a very special place in my heart. And I don't know why I didn't pursue this sooner, but I guess better late than never. Now, when it comes to this particular channel, I would ultimately like to go all over this vast, beautiful state that I call home, but for the short term, at least, we're going to focus on Brazoria County, and that's because that's my birthplace. That's the place I call home. And we're going to be starting off with the town that I call home, and that is Brazoria, Texas. Now, I've always stated that history must be learned. History must be embraced, and history must be told in its truest and most accurate form. Now, I truly believe this is a necessity, and having history told in its truest and more accurate form, free from any type of embellishment or fallacy, ensures that future generations can learn from the mistakes that our ancestors and forefathers made. Now, learning, embracing history helps ensure that those mistakes are not made again. Now, when I say history must be told truly and accurately, I say this knowing that many events in the history of not only Texas, not only the United States, but of the entire world, there are themes and subjects that potentially make people feel uncomfortable. Folks, that's by design. It's how it's supposed to be. Just because something is uncomfortable, just because something upsets you, does not mean it must not be taught. At the same time, we cannot ignore or change the events of the past. The past is the past, and there's nothing we can do to change it. Ignoring it or omitting it from written history opens the door for those same mistakes to be made again. I know history is not the most exciting subject or avenue to follow. A lot of people find history boring, but history is really everything. And I know a lot of you that are watching this are kind of scratching your heads and saying, what in the hell are you talking about? You got to understand this. History permeates everything. It's from the dawn of time to the present day. History is Jesus Christ. It's Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, General Douglas MacArthur, President Ronald Reagan, and George Washington. History is also musical. ZZ Top and Metallica, George Jones, Miranda Lambert, Little Richard, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and King's X. Unfortunately, history also has the dark times and the dark themes that have been experienced by hundreds of millions of people. The Holocaust of the Jews during World War II, the enslavement of Africans for labor in the American colonies, the Civil War, both world wars, in more recent times, Desert Storm, Enduring Freedom, and the war currently happening between Russia and Ukraine. History is full of evil men and women that have inhabited this world before us. Adolf Hitler, Caligula, Herod, Vladimir Lenin, just to name a few. But all history is also the scientific discoveries of Louis Pasteur, Sir Isaac Newton, and Pythagoras, and it goes all the way to the exploration of space. Everything that happens today becomes a part of history, no matter how insignificant it may be. So as you can see, history permeates and touches everything. In my honest opinion, outside of faith in God and devotion to Him, history is one of the most important things that we have in our possession. This is why I feel it is important that we look at history that is before us. Yes, it happened many, many years ago, but the lessons that we learn from those past events will guide us into the future. Now, my saying, if you've known me for any length of time, especially if the subject of history comes up, is always have the rebuttal of history was written or is written by the winner. Over the past few weeks, I've had some experiences and learned some things that kind of maybe put a damper on that. And I never meant history is written by the winner to degrade history, but a lot of the times the history that we are taught and the history that is relayed to us down through time sometimes is romanticized. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. But what history really is, and it's the way I'm going to look at history from now on, is history is actually the doorway to our future. So I hope that you come along with me on this journey through Texas history, especially Brazoria County history. Brazoria County is basically where Texas started. Brazoria itself was one of the first colonies in Austin's swath of land that he had received from the Mexican government. We're going to look at all those things. We're going to be going to, of course, Brazoria. We're going to look at West Columbia, which before it became West Columbia, it was just Columbia, and it was the first capital of the Republic of Texas. We're also going to go to Freeport and look at what Freeport has to offer historically. We're going to look at Velasco. One of the first battles of the Texas Revolution happened at Fort Velasco. Lake Jackson, Clute. We're also going to go into Angleton, which is the county seat of Brazoria County. We're going to go up to Alvin. We're going to look at the smaller towns like Liverpool, Damon, Bailey's Prairie. All of those places have some type of historical value. We're going to look at all of those. So I will say the first video that's going to be up is my visit with the Brazoria Heritage Foundation. You can see I've got their shirt on here. The Brazoria Heritage Foundation and the team that they have there, I learned a whole lot of information, and I would love to share it with you. I've also got upcoming a tour and interview coming up with the West Columbia, or the Columbia Historical Museum in West Columbia, that I'll be visiting with them on the 23rd of this month. So hopefully we'll have enough videos going on to keep you enthralled in what we're doing. I'm going to try my best to make these as educational and entertaining as possible. So come with me on this journey for Brazoria County history. And if we get done with Brazoria County and there's at least 174 historical markers in the county itself, we're going to hopefully go all over the state and learn as much as we can about the great Lone Star State, my home, Texas. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again here real soon.